Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Hello, hello, hello. Howdy and all of that. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your practice. That's number one. We're going to continue with the Lankavatara, part 3, chapter 3, whatever. And, oh yes. On with the difficulty of understanding intellectually how the mind works versus how to train the mind to work, to work in our awakening, in our perception of reality. What the popular term in recent years has been, situational awareness. Well, Buddhism is about situational awareness. Think about that. Truly. Most non-Buddhists, certainly, and our tendency as human beings is to just, go with the flow? Just respond to everything like we have no agency. Right? That's the first step of victimhood. Life is happening to me, and I just trying to stay afloat. Right? We have so much rhetoric about it. And Buddhism says, no, wait. That's why you're so stressed. That's why you're so full of anxieties about everything. Because you're constantly waiting to see what you're going to be slapped with next. You're taking the position of a controlled rather than controlling. A controller. You're being a victim, basically. That's where all suffering comes from. It's a decision. This is the brilliance of Shakyamuni Buddha. So you need to retrain your mind to take control of the ship. Get behind the wheel. Understand, everything is the same. What changes is your mind. You get ahead of things. When things happen, you understand how and why they happen. Because it's the process. You light a match to gasoline to set something ablaze, you understand that you're going to have a fire. It's really that simple, clear. Could you imagine thinking like that all the time? Oh, look, a match. Oh, look, flammable liquid on flammable stuff. I'm going to burn up these logs. I don't know. Do you think I'll have a fire or a flame? Should I stand in the middle of it? How's this going to work? Get the hell out of there. You're going to set this ablaze, and there's going to be a big consuming fire. Really? Well, you've never seen it before? Yeah, I guess so, but I wasn't there. I mean, we can go on and on. It's easy to make fun of this stuff when you don't see yourself in the midst of it, right? We're really making fun of ourselves. Life, when you're in it, as it's happening, owning it, understanding that life isn't happening to you, but for you. It's evidence. Life is evidence of your living. So, do you want that evidence to say, you're just tumbling along with it? Or do you want that evidence to say, here's somebody who's aware, who's awake, who is contributing and influencing, someone who has agency, not just plummeting through life, but living life, being life. Yeah, it doesn't make life smooth like glass, because that's not what life is. Life is this roiling drama of energy manifesting in every single potential. But if you understand that, if you live life that way, then the surprises aren't as surprising. And the shocks and the amazing things, they're kind of not so much expected, but reasonable. You're participating. They don't crush you. Right? They don't make you feel as though you can't stay afloat. Because there is the idea of being afloat is a delusion. It's all yours to be, to experience. Oh, this is happening. I need to adjust and do these things. Suddenly it's not so stressful. It's almost entertaining because it gives me something to do. What does that really mean? Gives me something to do. Live life. Participating in life contemporaneously. Not as somebody who's being assailed and beaten by life, but somebody who's in it. Boy, I heard a cliche cross my mind just then, and I don't want to say it. Seriously, though, why are we Buddhists? Why? Because we know this. Because we know that life is precious. It's meaningful. We just need to grab it instead of just being dragged along with it, right? Live it. This is your only chance. Make up your mind, right? So, here we go. Back to Mahamati and Shakyamuni trying to sort through this. Desire is said to be the mother and ignorance the father. We've already discussed mother and father analogies here. The feminine, the chthonic, and the what to call the father. The self-appointed protector. You know, you have to understand, ladies, men before language, I mean, way back, we watch you spawn a living being from your belly. That's glorious, amazing, and also quite threatening. Wow, you can do that? I can throw a rock 20 yards, but you can do that? I'm strong. I'm loud. I can build things, but you can do that? Look at any religion on the planet, and you'll see the battle of the sexes. Men asserting their superiority by making everything magical, giving themselves power, gods, to try to compete with this thing that you do naturally. Seriously. You know, it's an excellent book by a woman who I have a deep respect for, Camille Paglia. What is that book called? It's her dissertation, actually. It used to be 2 books, now it's 1. Sexual Personae. And don't let the title make your mind fanciful about pornography or sex or anything. It has nothing to do with that. But her take on world history, culture, the arts, everything, politics. If you're at all interested about some real dialogue about maleness and femaleness, and I bring it up because Shakyamuni's talking about it here and using it. If you really want to understand this, here's a book outside of Buddhism that I highly recommend you read. It will flush out your ideologies, your propaganda, as well as educate you and give you the tools of understanding to really reinvestigate our relationships as human beings in the world. I'm that impressed, impacted by her work, Camille Paglia. 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 Anyway, highly recommend that book. Desire is said to be the mother and ignorance the father. The Vijnana, which recognizes an objective world, is compared to the Buddha. The secondary group of passions is the Arhat, the amassing of the 5 skandhas, the brotherhood. As these are to be destroyed immediately, they are known as immediacy deeds. This is he's addressing the world of the Shravakas and Pratyekabuddhas and Arhats, Hinayana thought, basically. Early teachings of Buddhism, albeit misunderstood to be an end in themselves, right? You have to learn to throw away this kind of thinking and that kind of thinking. You notice I'm consistently saying that there's a paradigm shift. I'm not saying annihilation and new. I'm saying a shift. A shift indicates that you haven't thrown away everything, but you re-experience them anew and put them in their proper place, them being your attitudes, thoughts, beliefs, myths, and you shift them over so that you can reinvestigate all the same things, but from a far different perspective, and therefore experience. Again, Mahamati, he says, please tell me, what makes Buddhas and the emancipated ones such as they are? That is, what is the Buddha nature of the Buddhas? This kid loves words, doesn't he? Define for me, like if you could just define enlightenment well enough, then I could do it. This is that, and I bring this up all the time, this is that idea that somehow somebody else can give you something that will change your life. That's religion. That's magical thinking. Buddhism is not that. Buddhism, over and over and over, Shakyamuni states, this is yours to do. This is your mind. You already have that capacity. You just need to shift your attention to it. This is why this is the easiest and most difficult practice in the world. And you have to have resolve, conviction, a strong determination, just like anything in life. If you have no determination, well, just tumble along with the sand and the froth of the waves and go back, just be a victim. You have to choose to be awake. Yeah? This is why we chant Namo Myoho Renge. I am present. I am committing to. I am doing this. I am an awakening, calling forth my Buddha wisdom, my Buddha-ness, my clarity of mind, experience. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. That's what we're doing. No illusions about that. So the Emancipated One says, when the egolessness of things as well as of persons is understood, when you finally get it, when the knowledge of the twofold hindrance is thoroughly taken hold of, when the twofold death is accomplished, and when the twofold group of passions is destroyed, there, Mahamadi, is the Buddha nature of the Buddhas and the emancipated ones. When you finally understand the duality of self and other, the trick you're playing on, that your mind is allowed to play. When you finally understand the universe isn't happening to you, it's responding. It's a mirror for you to witness, to see life in all of its potential manifestations. You're not being whipped around by life. You're not the stepchild, the old cliches and all that. Life isn't coming at you. You are coming at life. Wow, what a different place to be mentally. Oh, I rhymed. Then you awaken. That is Buddha-ness. What's the nature of Buddha? It's in your mind. You already know this. You're just not paying attention. How many ways can Shakyamuni say this, right? When these teachings are experienced by the Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, this is their Buddha nature. So it is said, the twofold egolessness, the twofold group of passions, the twofold hindrance. He's talking about all the dualities, right? He's already self and other, oneness and multitudinousness, this and not that, and all of that, right? We've heard that over and over. So now he's saying it differently. And the inconceivable transformation death. The transformation is the mind. The death is of all of those attachments to the past, that baggage you keep carrying of the universe. Life is happening to me because look what it did in the past. Well, I fell in that hole, and that guy treated me bad, and she left me, and let it go. That's not happening anymore. What will it take for you to wake up and see where you are instead of dragging along where you've been and punishing yourself over it? What are you doing? When these are attained, there is the Tathagata. When you finally shift to living, being, you're awake, you're aware, you're participating in your glorious life, manifesting every moment to moment the realms you want to live in. Seems so simple. At that time, Mahamadi, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, said to the emancipated one, what now? According to what deeper sense did you make this announcement before the congregation that, quote, I am all the Buddhas of the past, and that, quote, I have gone through many a birth in varieties of forms, being thus at times the king Madhatri, the elephant, parrot, Indra, Vyasa, Sunetra, and other beings in my 100,000 births. You know the answer. What's he talking about there, Mahamati? Well, you said this. You said that you've been here 100,000 times, and sometimes you were a bird, and sometimes you were this. Oh, and all of you magical thinkers out there thinking, well, I'm not saying you, but certainly you know people whose religions or personal philosophies or whatever believe in if I'm bad, I'll come back as a rat in the next life, or all of that craziness, right? Which, by the way, has no place in Buddhism. The great misunderstanding here, first of all, Shakyamuni is talking to these people, so he's using their very own befuddled thinking to try to make a point. But the clarity, what's missing in this Mahayana Sutra is a very clear idea, and perhaps it's going to be cleared up here as the Emancipated One speaks to this question. We live moment to moment to moment. We are constant manifestations in flux through time-space, right? Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Faster than you can think it. 3,000 realms in every single moment. And are there not times in your life where you felt like you were unassailable? I'm the queen. I'm the king. Not power plays, and I'm just talking about an internal feeling of feeling exalted, even for just a moment. Maybe you won a competition. Maybe you finally solved a puzzle. No one can know the exaltation I feel right now. Yeah? And in the very next few moments, you can feel like lower than dirt. Why am I even pulsing? Why do I live? Right? The whole spectrum. We feel it through our whole lives, right? This is what Shakyamuni is talking about. Those thousands of births, they've happened in the last week. They're not lifetimes, although sometimes the way we feel feels like a multiple lifetime. How many times have you caught yourself saying, man, I remember all those years ago, it was like another life? Why is it then so hard to understand what Shakyamuni is saying here? Oh, that means multiple lifetimes. I'll be reborn into this other place. It's like those people with the Pure Land Sutra. And if I just say Amida Buddha enough times, when I die, I'll go to this Buddha land. No. Just like we learned in the Virmalakirti Sutra very explicitly, this land is the Buddha land. The difference is the way you choose to experience it. Period. So let's see, what does Shakyamuni say here? There are, according to the deeper sense, 4 kinds of sameness distinguished. Mahamati, and the Tathagatas, Arhats, fully enlightened ones, make this assertion. I was thus at that time the Buddha Krakushchanda, Kanakamuni, and Kashyapa. What are the 4 kinds of sameness which are distinguished according to this deeper sense? They are sameness of letters, 2, sameness of words, 3, sameness of teachings, and 4, sameness of body. According to this fourfold sameness in the deeper sense, the Tathagatas, fully enlightened ones, make the announcement before the congregation. So what Shakyamuni is now saying is saying, okay, take those teachings that you're still adhering to and apply those quotations you just assailed me with and try to understand them in the context of trying to get you to unglue yourself from these different delusions. So now we're going to take those apart, right? Mahamati, what is the sameness of words with regard to the Tathagatas and the fully enlightened ones? It is that 64 sounds of the Brahman language are distinguished by me, and these identical 64 sounds of the Brahman language are also uttered by the Tathagatas, the fully enlightened ones, and their Kalavinka-like notes are the same with all of us, as we are indistinguishable in this respect. So the sameness he's talking about is Buddhahood is already there. Buddhahood is your mind's clarity if you only paid attention to it. Let me explain why I say that. He's saying we all speak the same language. That language, like English, all of these different sounds that we make, the t, remember being in elementary school? The th sound and the duh sound and the sound and the n sound, right? He's breaking it down. And he's saying, of all the billions of us Indians here, Asian Indians, don't get it messed up, we're able to communicate, although India has 125 different languages, but let's not go there. Basically, he's saying the sounds that we make, that we then assign meaning to, some sort of meaning to, in order to communicate, are the same sounds that your Buddha nature, that I, Shakyamuni Buddha, and all Buddhas, in other words, all of us, our enlightened minds, use those same sounds in order to communicate. There's no difference between you and Buddha, except your mind. That's the difference. That's what the label Buddha means. Your new mind. Not that it's new because you went and got it somewhere, but because it's been there waiting for you to pay attention to it. Just do it, right? So that means Buddha-ness and you are essentially the same. You just refuse for whatever, all those attachments that you behold are keeping you from experiencing. This is the whole ball game. Now, Mahamati, what is the sameness of the body? It is that I and other Tathagatas, fully enlightened ones, are the same as regards our Dharmakaya and the 32 signs and the 80 minor excellencies of bodily perfection. No distinction existing among us except that the Tathagatas manifest varieties of forms according to the different dispositions of beings, who are to be disciplined by the varieties of means. So you, my friend Buddha, are behaving, living in different levels of ignorance about your Tathagata-ness. And therefore, we must communicate addressing those different levels of ignorance in order to help you work yourself out of it to manifest Tathagata. Yeah? That's what that's about. And that's a person-to-person body, universe body, that variety of, what's the word I use all the time? Apparatus. This body as an apparatus. It's not about the body. It's about the body manifesting a mind, an emergent property of this entire apparatus. And this is why I say it's not just this body, it's the universe body. Without the universe, there is no this, right? It's all the same body. Now, Mahamadi, what is the sameness of the teaching? Can you guess? It is that I, as well as they, the other Tathagatas, you included, are all conversant with the teachings belonging to the 37 branches of enlightenment, again a reference to earlier teachings, according to the deeper sense, whatever that is, which is concerned with this fourfold sameness. The Tathagatas, fully enlightened ones, make their announcement before the congregation. That's what those earlier statements are about, Mahamadi. Why do you not get this? When I say, I am all the Buddhas of the past, it's because there's no differentiation of Buddha-ness. There's only differentiation of words, letters, bodies. That's the samsaric window of opportunity. But the Buddha-ness is always, it's universal. And your mind is the only tool we have to witness it, to be in it. Wake that up. Therefore, so it is said, I am Kashyapa, Karchanda, and Kanakamuni. This I preach, who come out of the sameness for the sake of the sons of the Buddha. So although it sounds like I, Shakyamuni, am the Buddha who has been that Buddha, that king, that thing, I am saying that all the experiences of perception of this life, all of these various states of knowledge, experience, knowing and not knowing, ignorance, they all exist by virtue of mind. And it is a choice, a conscious choice, to become an observer of all those potentials, rather than being tumbled along in those definitions, trying to fit, trying not to fit, trying to escape, trying to penetrate. It's Again, Mahamadi says, it is said by the emancipated one that from the night of the enlightenment till the night of the parinirvana, the Tathagata, in the meantime, has not uttered even a word, nor will he ever utter, for not speaking is the Buddha's speaking. According to what deeper sense is it that not speaking is the Buddha speaking? He's asking the same question again. Because Buddha isn't a human being using words. Buddha is a state of mind. That state of mind is a personal experience. We as bodhisattvas are conversant using words, sound, trying to keep our resolve, influence others to make this determination, to be in that Buddha mindset as we course through the world, to fully experience in the moment every aspect of living. But this isn't the Buddha talking to us. That's a mental state. And he's identifying that illusion very specifically there, because he still is talking from the idea that Shakyamuni is Buddha. And Shakyamuni is not Buddha. Shakyamuni is a man, a great sage. That's the name, Shakyamuni. Muni is great sage of the Shakya clan, Shakyamuni. Teaching, living in the experience of Buddha-ness. that you could say that Buddha-ness doesn't have language, or it has all language, or it simply doesn't need language, because it's an experience. So let's see how Shakyamuni responds. By reason of two things of the deeper sense, and the deeper sense must be some kind of a word construct Suzuki has either come up with or is in previous writings indicating this Buddha wisdom, knowledge, yeah? This Buddha wisdom, prajna, deeper sense. It sounds like a bowel problem to me, but let's continue. Mahamadi, this statement is made. What are the two things? They are the truth of self-realization and an eternally abiding reality. Drop the mic. Because Buddha-ness is a self-realization, not a word, not a language, not on the third shelf in the sixth aisle at Walmart, and an eternally abiding reality. The process of life, the process of the universe, the process without time, the process that is ongoing since time without beginning. Buddha-ness is the experience of that process. And Buddha-ness can only occur to a mind. So where there is no mind, there is no Buddha-ness. But the process happens, is ongoing, irregarding a mind. It's just life. It's the universe. According to these two things of the deeper sense, the statement is made by me. Of what deeper sense is the truth of self-realization? What has been realized by the Tathagatas, that is my own realization, in which there is neither decreasing nor increasing. For the realm of self-realization is free from words and discriminations, having nothing to do with dualistic terminology. I mean, he's dissecting this to the nth degree. Come on, Mahamadi. What is meant by an internally abiding reality? Well, the ancient road of reality, Mahamadi, has been there all the time. Like gold, silver, or pearl preserved in the mine, Mahamati, the Dharmadhatu abides forever. Whether the Tathagata appears in the world or not, as the Tathagata eternally abides, so does the reason Dharmata of all things. Reality again that typo, forever abides. Reality keeps its order, like the roads of an ancient city. For instance, Mahamani, a man who is walking in a forest and discovering an ancient city with its orderly streets may enter into the city, and having entered into it, he may have a rest, conduct himself like a citizen, and enjoy all the pleasures accruing therefrom. What do you think, Mahamadi? Did this man make the road along which he enters into the city? And also the various things in the city? Again, Buddhahood is innate. Buddha-ness is innate. It is the fundamental, the a priori process of life, the universe itself, time, space. Mahamadi, oh, no, of course not. The blessed, or the emancipated one says, well, just so, Mahamadi. What has been realized by myself and other Tathagatas is this reality, the eternally abiding reality, the self-regulating reality, the suchness of things, tatata. The realness of things, the truth itself. For this reason, Mahamadi, it is stated by me that from the night of the Tathagata's enlightenment till the night of his entrance into nirvana, he has not in the meantime uttered nor ever will utter one word. So it is said, from the night of the enlightenment till that of the nirvana, I have not in the meantime made any proclamation whatever. It is on the account of the deeper meaning that the eternally abiding reality of self-realization is talked of by me, and between myself and all the other Buddhas, in this respect, there is no distinction whatever. So, something that you might want to consider here too, and it's in that particular verbiage that I'm alerted to it. When he says that, when he's talking as Shakyamuni about, from his standpoint of Buddha-ness, he communicates with all the other Buddhas. He's not talking with, like, the boardroom of Buddhas up in the clouds. He's talking about you and I. He's talking about our innate Buddha nature. And so when he's speaking to the other Buddhas, you and I, he's speaking to our nature of awakened mind. Those Buddhas. Do you see? We go through a lot of linguistic hoops and what have you as we read these sutras, as we try to inculcate these teachings into our own lives. But again, the central point is that we're trying to retrain our thought engine into experiencing all of the manifestations of objective reality as an ongoing engine of life. And we're in it. And our ability to witness it, jump right into it, influence it, see its majesty in all of its instantiations, from joy to pain to all of it, without attachment, without dragging it along, without affecting every moment. Those are the realms. Those are the realms from our bodhisattva mind, hanging on to that Buddha-ness reality. We don't want to slip into the lower paths, because that's an indication that we're anchoring ourselves and allowing ourselves to feel pain about something that doesn't deserve our attention. Move on. I know sometimes that's easier said than done, but that's the goal. That's what we constantly need to remind ourselves of. This is why we practice every day. Recenter that Myoho Renge Kyo. Oh yeah, you stay here. Keep your eye on the prize. The prize is your life, all life. Why would you be distracted any other way? Take care of yourselves. Take care of your health. Be proactive. Be kind. This is sometimes very difficult. Takes effort. But that's okay. Take that effort. Take that foible and redouble your effort at chanting. Earthly desires are enlightenment. In other words, our earthly experience, samsaric experience of obstacles and all that stuff that our mind wants to drag along, take it right away to your Butsudan, to your mandala, and get your mind right about it. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. And with your Buddha mind, that will lessen. It will cease to have its hold on you. And you won't be in that stress and anxiety about it because it's already gone. You may be left with the remnants of something that's happened, but that's okay. Be with that. Construct your life, your Buddha mind, your Buddha-ness, your Bodhi life around every circumstance as it happens, rather than constructing your life of pain and misery and wishing it had been different and who to blame and what to blame. Now you're just living in the past and you're in misery. That is the key here. Choose your life right now. And how does this best instantiate my next moment? My next moment. How can I make every one of these moments glorious? Opportunity to manifest all my potential and the potential around me. Because the potential around me and what happens around me is me. It reflects my karma. It's a one-to-one relationship. Yeah, that's huge, isn't it? Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Thank you for your practice again. Thank you, patrons, for supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting this channel. If all you can do is, and I mean sincerely, is like and subscribe to this channel, you're doing Bodhisattva work. Because that affects the algorithm, right? And we need to get this Sangha to grow. We need to affect more and more people's minds. Get them away from the precipice of the insanity that's going on in the world right now. Make life more reasonable. Make life more glorious. For everyone. It should be. It is. Why not experience it that way? Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.